Hello, I'm Ernie Pack.
Hey, hello everybody. Greg Yost, the SQUATCHMAN.
We are here with Packman Paranormal Live. Got a little bit different show for you tonight. Got my guest in studio, the one and only Squatchman. A lot of you folks know this guy. A lot of you have been out in the forest with him and us. And we've had some epic encounters with this guy. Everybody that I have talked to in the paranormal field, been on many podcasts, guests on other shows or our own show, whatever, every time we mention Greg Yost, everybody wants to get out in the woods with him. And we've been lucky enough to do quite a bit of that over the last 2 or 3 years. And this guy's got a relationship with the forest people that a lot of people just they'll never get, really. But
yeah, they wouldn't understand.
You've been doing this for what, about 15 years or so?
Well, since November of 2002, so
wow, 21 years.
We're right at 21 years, yeah. Ever since my first encounter I had, and it drew me in. Yeah, I believe I was like 44, 45 years old, and then I had my first encounter, and from then on out, it was it's been on one big journey to the truth, finding out everything I can about these things, and so far I think I'm on the right path.
Definitely, I think you are. Hello, Irene Irene's in Tokyo. Irene Tokyo.
Hello.
There's Angela Johnston.
Hi, Angela.
Hello, everybody tuning in. I want to get straight to the point on part of this. There are a lot of people out there who follow the Bigfoot phenomenon, whatever, are fans of it, are interested in it, whatever, that they think of them as a missing primate and just a flesh and blood creature that you could go out, and if you're going to find one, you do it the same way. You approach it like a hunter. And what I've learned from this guy is that's not at all the case. You want to talk about your theory on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, basically, you don't find Bigfoot. Bigfoot finds you. I mean, they will pick and choose whoever they want to, have activity with, encounters with, interaction with. Yeah, it's all up to the individual. What kind of energy you produce, what kind of heart you have, and what kind of human being you are. If you got good energy, good positive energy, if you're a kind person, if you're good-hearted, if you're very in tune with the force and the nature, you're not a bad person. You don't
asshole. You can say asshole.
Asshole. You don't go out in the forest and pollute. Throw all your garbage everywhere. Little things like that. It all matters, and you put all these things together, and it's so that's what they look for. If you're a good person, what I just mentioned, chances are you're going to have some good encounters with the people of the forest. If you're a bad person, low energy, real negative, always complaining, always nagging about something, talking behind people's backs,
just miserable with yourself.
Yeah, that's not going to fly with them. They don't want to deal with people like that. And you can't blame them. So I found that out from the early days. It's all about heart and mutual respect for these people. And I learned throughout the years what they like, what they don't like. You know, they don't like people trying to take their pictures. They don't like people with the infrared, the thermal cameras, yeah, anything that can see them or take their pictures. They stay away from them kind of people. You know, I told them right from the get-go, I would not take their pictures. I would not
without permission.
Yeah, without permission. That I've asked lately. At the beginning, I never did. I did get a couple pretty good pictures, but you know, I was lucky. And yeah, I just took it amongst myself to find out what worked and what didn't. And they you know, they let me know cut and dry. You know, they don't like that kind of equipment. But if you're out there in pitch darkness, um, just you, your heart, your friends, all like you, like-minded people, like-minded, good-hearted people, chances are you'll have experiences right from the get-go. And it always helps to be with me. They know me and they know who I am, and they know that the people I will bring out there are good people. I'm not going to bring people out there that's going to try to cheat them, put them in a cage, put them in a zoo,
Entrap them in any way.
yeah, in any way, shape, or form. You know, I'm not here to
exploit them.
Yeah, exploit them or prove the existence of them. Well, what I'm here for is to tell people the truth about them, what they can do, what they can't do, who they are, and what kind of people they really are. Like I already said at the beginning of the show, a lot of people, you know, like to say that they're, you know, a big ape basically that hasn't been discovered. You know, scientifically unproved. Scientists don't even want to talk about it. You know, no shape, way, or form are these things real. I mean, you know, a real scientist will tell you that these things don't exist. But people like me, we know better. We know they exist, and that's the fine line when it comes to this. You got to know. You got to know how to act around these people, and you got to know, you know, what I told you about the cameras and the equipment. You know, if you go out there solely to, you know, get their picture or get a video on, or get that $1 million money shot, yeah, you're wasting your time. You might as well play the lottery. You have more of a chance winning the lottery than that.
Look how many people have been in the woods since 1967 when Patterson and Gimlin got lucky and caught that image, that video of Patty.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, that's a 1 in a million thing.
1 in a million.
How many people have been in the woods hoping to catch that exact holy grail of evidence and got nothing? It's not because they're not out there, but it's because they just don't show themselves like that.
Yeah, and you know, just like the game crammers, there's tens of thousands of them all over the country. I mean, I'm talking tens of thousands.
Millions, probably.
Yeah, probably millions in every state, hanging in trees all over the country. But yet, out of all these trail cameras, one clear image of, you know, what most people call them a Bigfoot has never been taken. So you think about that. Why? If it's just a flesh and blood ape who they say is intelligent, yeah, he'll
mess up and
he'll mess up and get caught. I mean, if it's an animal, it's an animal. I mean, humans are supposed to be the smartest beings on this planet, but in reality, we're not the smartest of beings. If we think like that, and we think that we're smarter than these people, we're never going to figure out what they are. Because one thing, we are not smarter than them. You know, they can They can stay away from all these cameras. They know when you got a trail camera up in the tree. A lot of times they will bash them. A lot of times they'll just stay away from them, just like your other cameras. And people wonder, well, why is that? Well, why do they stay away from that? Well, for one thing, they're highly intelligent people, and they know everything about the forest and everything that's supposed to be there and everything that is not supposed to be there. And all these cameras and gadgets and everything, what I like to call them, they put out different frequencies. They put out different waves, wavelengths going through the forest. You factor all this in together, and the forest people can feel that. They know the difference between what a forest is supposed to feel like and one with these
gadgets.
With these gadgets infiltrating the forest. That's how smart they are. They know when a trail camera is the same way. Putting off energy, putting off infrared lights. Just the ideal that is energy hanging there in that tree. It's got batteries in it. It's constantly on. That is not normal out in the forest. I mean, they probably, be truthful. They probably watch these people hang them and are laughing at them. They're going, oh, look, there's another one going to try to get her picture. But yeah, it never works. It never works time and time again. And like we just said, millions of cameras every day with absolutely zero
clear, convincing images.
A lot of times not even close to anything.
Right. Yeah. Now, you were talking about energy and how they can feel our energy. They can sense our intentions and all of these things. We were talking earlier about the tree bows and the structures that you've shown me. You've shown a lot of the people that are on the screen here have been in the forest with you. They've seen the tree bows and the arches, the X's and different structures that they make in the forest. And we were talking on the way here about how you feel like that's a source of energy for them. You want to?
Yeah, sure. Like I already just said, a lot of people, the categories, these structures that we find out there, that the people make, X's, bows, teepees, whatever. But from an early on phase of my life doing this, I always thought the bows, a big tree bowed over and tucked into the ground with pinners on it, like different logs or something, holding it down into the earth. Make like a continuous circle of energy. And I figured the earth did have energy in it, and I always have thought. And I'm a big fan of Nikola Tesla, and he even did experiments back in the early 1900s where he did say that the earth was full of energy. As for all your lightning goes, like Ernie talked about earlier, every electrical thing on this planet is grounded. What's it grounded to? It's grounded to the earth. So all this energy and excess electrical power is going into the earth. So anyway, Nikolai did an experiment where he made a big light bulb and he wired it up to a nail that was sticking in the earth. And he had a couple more pieces of equipment to add on to that. But basically what he did was light that light bulb up with the energy of the earth. So and I found this out later after I already said that's what them tree bowls are. Just a continuous circle of energy. And these things need all the energy they can get. For a creature that can do what they can do, mainly turn invisible as in a form of energy. And before you people say, well, they can't do that, they're flesh and blood. Hey, well, I beg to differ. I think everybody that gets in this thinks that they're flesh and blood, from the get
Initially.
go. But as you go further your research and farther what you see and what you experience, you soon forget about the flesh and blood because there's a lot more to them than just flesh and blood.
Yeah, I've talked a few times on this show about the time we were doing a live stream down at Casey Cemetery, Gates of Hell, and it was called Ghost Hunters Meet Bigfoot. Happened to be the first time that we met Squatchman. He wasn't there on this particular night though, and we heard Denise, myself, and another investigator that was there. We heard something very large running up the hill toward us, and I mean it was getting close enough, and it was big enough and intimidating enough that I got behind the van and pulled my 45. I looked over and Denise is running down the hill toward it. And, that's a whole other story. But this thing, the noise, it was coming at us. And then the noise just stopped. We never heard it go away. Nothing. We started shining spotlights down there. There's nothing there. We went down there. We looked all around. There was no animal of any kind down there. If it had been a deer or anything, we would have heard it run off. But no, this thing just vanished. And that was my first real thought that these creatures are not animals. They can materialize, for lack of a better way to put it, dematerialize, whatever, like that. And whether, Sandy's asking, are you talking about the magnetic fields? Yeah, it's in the electromagnetic field of the earth is where this energy source that we're talking about, I think. And that, I mean, a lot of folks have a hard time grasping that because they've got it so drilled into them that these are just, a missing primate, something like that. I believe they're multidimensional, like Angela just said. They can go interdimensional. They can go through portals. I don't know. Maybe sometimes those tree arches create some type of portal where they can travel through and disappear. I don't know. Hello, Jessica. Hello, everybody over there watching. I haven't been able to say hi to all y'all, but
yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's all about energy with these people, and another one of Ernie's questions earlier, about how so attracted to these and they're attracted to me. Another one of Nikola Tesla's theory, high positive energy is going to attract high positive energy, and they're going to boom. It's an inevitable. It's going to happen, and it does happen. And these forest people will cling on to more people out there that does have that high energy. I mean, you could be a low energy person and doubts everything, don't believe anything, and go out there, and one could literally walk right by you, and his energy is going to be way up here, hovering way up here, and you're way down here by the ground. Your energy is nowhere comparable to his, and you will never see him in your whole life, just because of your energy and your negativity and your doubtful ways you have with yourself. When it comes to this stuff, you got to open up your mind. You got to expect the unexpected, and you got to accept. Well, when something happens, don't try to explain, that it was normal or it was natural. You got to know what's real and what is not factual. And some of the stuff I've seen over the years, when you see a creature out in the woods, a dark black woods, looking at you with his eyes lit up, standing 8 to 10 feet up off the forest floor, and you're out there by yourself, you can't go, oh, well, let's see, that's probably
That's a big lightning bug.
yeah, that's a deer out there with headlights on it. I mean, everybody would try to have an explanation for everything, but the truth of the matter is, that's a Bigfoot standing out there with his eyes glowing, looking right at you. Yeah, I have seen this numerous times. And some people say, well, they just got this color eye or this color eye. Well, I like to inform you that they got amber yellow eyes, they got red eyes, they got white eyes, green, blue, whitish blue.
Almost a purple.
Yeah, almost a purple.
Kind of a pinkish, purplish.
A
color.
pinkish. I think I've seen every spectrum of their eyes that they got. A lot of people say if you see the ones with red eyes, you'll get out of here. They're mean. Well, that's not true either. I got a whole family of them I call Big Red, and I'll say his better half, she's got red eyes, and he's got 3 children. They all got red eyes. And almost every time I go out there, Big Red will make an appearance. I mean, I'll call him out by name. Hey, Big Red, you out there? And boom, 2 big red eyes out there. Ernie will show you here later.
Let's see if I can find that real quick.
Yeah, we caught one of the best pictures ever of eyeshine.
Hang on. Let me minimize this and slide it over here where I can share it. That's not it. Hang on. That's not the one I wanted to show you. I got a couple of these. I just gotta find them. Hang on.
Yeah, and these are all from my forest. This is basically the only place I go to, and everything I need is out here. I mean, there's people to see stuff out there.
Here we go.
Okay, what you're looking at here?
Not seen it yet. Just a second here. Here we go. Got a share screen. There you go.
See what you're looking at there is eye shine from a forest person. And if you notice, you don't really see a body around this thing. Why? Because what some people say cloaking, I call it he's in his energy form, but yet he's letting us see him with his eyes over there lit up. See, this is a tree right here, right behind these eyes. These eyes are in front of that
tree. There's a tree.
Yeah, he's in front of that tree. So
you can almost see some pixelation around where the face would be.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you see with like Predator in the Predator movies. And we've seen that a lot in the forest where you'll see them going through the woods where it just looks pixel or mirrored or something. It's kind of hard to.
Yeah, seeing my friend Dan Lindholm, the Big Truth from Oregon. He came here. Yeah, he took that picture, but when he got here, I said, hey, you're going to see eye glow tonight. He goes, well, I've never seen eye glow in my life. And I go, you're going to see it tonight. So not only did he see it, he's got some of the best picture of it that's out there. And again, well, how they get so close to me, a lot of people are probably wondering, and how do I get, pictures like that? Well, like Ernie said, I go about it a different way. I talk to the forest. I ask them to do stuff. I ask them to light their eyes up. I ask them to give us a tree knock. I ask them to give us a vocal.
Ask them to do something epic and show us your power.
Yeah, I'll get to that here in a second. But one night we were back by my gifting stuff, And a good friend of mine, Bob Spitzler, was with me. There's quite a few people back there. And I said, hey, can you do something for everybody? You'll let everybody know you're out there. And as soon as I asked the question, everybody standing there with me, we heard a no. So I'm like, well, guys, let's go back up. I said, you heard the guy.
Night's over.
Night's over. He said no.
That in and of itself was pretty epic, though.
Yes, it was.
That
Just
he
by
answered
hearing that. I've had them call my name out, Greg. They know who I am. Trust me. They know when I'm coming up to the forest before I even get there. A lot of times they're waiting. Again, I mean, does this sound like the behavior of a
ape?
Yeah, an ape-type creature? No, I don't think so. They can read your mind. A lot of people have reported being healed. Yes, I said healed from very serious elements. I've talked to a guy who was rolled off of being dead within weeks with cancer. He went back. He went back and he got healed. He said the forest people healed him, and this man today is living a healthy, strong, godly life. And I'm not saying these people cure you with their own powers. What I'm saying is they cure you through the hands of God. They have got this power, and God has picked them that they use his powers to heal people when it's appropriate. And just like asking God to heal you, usually he would. That's what God does. You know, he loves his creations and he's going to help us when he can, just like the forest people. And again, people will say, well, how do you know they're connected to God? Well, I got one on tape saying Yahweh, which is another name of God that the Jewish people and the Native American Cherokee Indian tribe pray and still do. Another name for God. And I got it on audio tape of one saying Yahweh. So that tells me right there, they're godly people, just like most of us humans are. What's the big difference between the humans and the forest people? Yeah, we both have arms, legs, we got a head, we got eyes, we got a mouth, we got ears, we got everything basically the same. The only difference, they're a lot bigger and they got a lot more hair on them than us.
A lot more energy, and I think they're using a bigger percentage of their brain than what we use. We only use about 10% of our brains.
Yes, and they're way more intelligent than us. I mean, they can survive out in that forest. I'm just reading with Sandy that they have the power to heal, but so do we. Yeah, basically we do. It's just what Ernie just said. We only use 10% of our powers. And that's the human's downfall. We have probably forgot 90% of the stuff we ought to be doing. Instead of walking around with our heads in our cell phones, always on the computer, always watching the idiot box, bad habits, going out to clubs, drinking. The humans got all kinds of bad habits and traits that the forest people would never think of doing. They're clean living people. They're healthy people. They're not out looking for trouble. They're not out to kill humans. They would if they had to.
I believe they have.
I believe they have too. As far as just going up to a campsite where a family's camping, no, they're not going to kill people just for the sport of it. They're going to kill people who try to shoot at them, try to shoot at their babies, try to wreak havoc into their lives. They're not going to tolerate it. and you're going to get it. Just like David Pilati's Missing 4-1 book, The Hunted, where all these hunters go out, usually by themselves, armed to the gill, rifles, shotguns, side pistols, knives, hatchets, whatever you want to bring. I mean, these guys are, they're packing for bear, but they don't come back. The whole book of people that never come back. What happened to them? Well, David doesn't know what happened to him, but I think I know what happened to him. That they had that very rare chance of seeing one, and they took a shot at it. They go, well, here's my chance to be a millionaire. I'm going to kill a Bigfoot. The rest is history. They take one shot, and you're dead. They're going to get you. You may only see one, but there's always a lot more than one. They're tribal people. They stick together. And if one comes under attack, trust me, all of them are going to be in. And then they're going to help that guy or that woman. And they're going to get the source. And you will never see the source again.
One of our first visual encounters Denise and I had, one stepped out into a logging road. Well, actually, it was Cemetery Road at Jefferson Memorial Forest. It stepped out into the middle of that path, and we were both standing there looking at it. And it wasn't long till we started hearing vocalizations coming from to our left, to our right, from behind us, from further up the path than where that one was. And like you said, if you see one, there's probably 5 more that are watching you that you don't see.
Yeah, exactly.
And, that's something that, it took time talking to you and spending time in the forest with you to really kind of wrap my head around all of that. But like you've said, I mean, they seem to have a knowledge of our intent. They can read us.
Yeah,
unlike any psychic that we'll meet.
So they can read us,
and they know your intentions, and they will deal with you accordingly. If you have good intentions, they'll be good to you. Otherwise, they won't.
Yeah, they can tell you what kind of person you are, and they're like, "Hey, we've been checking this guy out for a number of years now. We like him. We're going to go ahead and start giving him what he wants, which is activity, encounters, sightings. Back when I had my first sighting, I didn't know it was going to turn into where I'm at now. I thought it was probably one of a very rare incident that had happened to me. I don't know why it happened to me, but I tell that my first encounters, so everybody who hasn't heard it will know what brought me into this. Just over 21 years ago, November of 2002. This is another thing. Well, why one could probably come into my life that night. I got laid off from my job. My wife left me, took my babies, said she didn't love me anymore. So I was a lost man. I traveled to the forest, and me and my dog went hiking a lot. I was trying to find myself. And on this particular night, instead of finding myself, Bigfoot found me. And only ways that they can work, he changed my life to the better. And anyway, this happened in Ferdinand, Indiana, West Indiana, at the tail end of the Hoosier National Forest. My grandfather built and designed this park in 1933. Very beautiful forest, very isolated and secluded at night. And this is in November. There wasn't a soul in the whole forest. And I went down the main forest road and went down over this, like a big dam that they built, and it had rocks over the top of it and led back in a little area. And it had like 3 or 4 fire pits. It had an outhouse, and that was it. Nothing back there. You could wilderness camp back there. So I got a little fire going. I had my dog out. I was going to make some hot dogs. Thanksgiving was a couple days away. My birthday was a couple days away, November 23rd. I can remember like it was yesterday. And we were sitting there having a good old time. It was a nice, cool, cold November night. Clear as a bell. There wasn't a moon out or nothing, real dark. But just a real, relaxful night. And then another dog came up and started playing with my dog, Buddy, which was a 125-pound golden retriever chow mix. He looked like a grizzly bear. He's a big boy. And he's playing with this little hunting dog, like a beagle mix, blue hound, some sort of dog like that. He wasn't a full breed.
That dog would just kind of come up on you guys.
He wasn't... Yeah, just come up out of me out of nowhere. So out of the blue, here comes the sheriff across the dam, and he pulls up and he starts talking to me. Again, like I said, I knew nothing about Bigfoot. I wasn't there to find Bigfoot. I was there to find myself. What job the mighty Lord had for this man who was lost. What was my calling in life? Because nothing was going my way. And so he wanted that little dog. He said he's getting off in the morning and he'd come back and get it. And I told him I probably wasn't going to be here all night. Yeah, but he, come by and get it. I don't care. It ain't my dog. And this was like 10 o'clock in the evening. It wasn't very late. And he took off, and it was just me and the 2 dogs again. So I sat down there on the picnic table, and there was a ring fire. It was by no means a bonfire. It was a real low fire. It wasn't putting off much light. And there was a lake there. I told you I went across that dam, and there was a lake over to the right, and there was a big hill there. And everything was nestled back there in the corner. And I was just sitting there, complete silence. Dogs were laying there. I gave them a couple of hot dogs. And then out of nowhere, I started hearing these big loud steps, man, sticks breaking, cracking, limbs cracking. There's like 9 or 10 steps down this hill. And there was a big tree there, right there where the woods were cut off, where they made this little, area to camp at. And it stopped right behind that tree. And I started hearing this, real heavy breathing. It was like coming right through me. I mean, just loud as hell. And I was sitting there at the picnic table. I went into a mild shock. I heard it come all the way down the hill. I'm trying to figure out what it was. And I had no idea what this could be. And I kind of clammed up, and it was real frightening. I'm not going to lie to you, very frightening. And then it came to my attention, through the voice of my chief petty officer. I was in the Navy 10 years. I did a lot of crazy stuff back in the Navy, and my chief always took care of us. If that's one man you could trust with your life, it was that chief. And I could hear his voice. He said, "Hey, Yost, get up. Somebody's up there is going to probably kill you. And if you don't get up off your ass within seconds, you're going to die." So I immediately snapped up, and I had a Colt 45 in my car. I pulled it out. I put the clip in. It was halfway out. I cocked it. I put one in the chamber. And I said, okay, I felt a lot better now. I had my gun and I was ready to do battle. I came out of my mild shock. I wasn't as scared as I was. But my dog and this other dog walked up about halfway to this tree, which was 20 feet away from the picnic table. So now they were about 10 feet away, just sitting there looking up at the tree. And I'm screaming his name, Buddy, Buddy. He would not turn around, and he's well trained. And the other dog wouldn't turn around. And I kept hearing the breathing getting louder and louder. So I turned my attention to him. I had the gun pointed right up to the tree. I said, look, I don't know what you are, who you are. I go, you come around that tree to mess with my dog or me. I go, I'm going to shoot you, man. I go, I got 12 rounds right here, and you're going to get every last one of them. I go, do you understand? I said, I'm not looking for trouble. I go, but by God, I'm going to give you all the trouble you want. I go, just don't come out from around that tree. Says, I was cussing at him. I was screaming at him.
Being as intimidating as you could.
I did everything possible to keep him on the other side of that tree because I knew it was something I never encountered. So anyway, I had to get my dog so he would not come. So I took baby steps up there to where he was at. I put my left arm under him because I'm right-handed and I can't shoot very good with my left. So I wanted to make sure that if he did come around, I was going to have a good chance, with my good hand. So I got a 125-pound dog, basically like a sack of potatoes that wouldn't move, So I got him here in my lap, backing out, same shit, talking to the tree. Look, you come around, I'm shooting you, man, and no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm getting my dog and we're out of here. You will never see me again. So I got Buddy in the back seat. And I jumped in the front seat, stuck it in reverse, and went back to the dam about 30 feet away. And I was shaking like a leaf on a tree. I needed a cigarette bad. I got a bad habit. And I had my cooler up there, my cigarettes, everything. So I had to I was going to get my stuff. I wasn't going to let this thing stop me from getting it. So I went back up there and I hit my bright lights. And I looked up in that tree. And there was a big left arm hanging around that tree like this. And the thumb was kind of like tucked down in the hands where I couldn't see the sun, but I seen these fingers. And they looked like big black cigars. And it had long black hair, hanging down off its arm all the way to its elbow, which covered that whole tree from the elbow out to the hand. And the tree was about 3.5 feet in diameter. So, just from that part of his arm covered that whole tree. Pretty damn long. Yeah, big ass arm. So I didn't want to look no farther. I didn't want to look, see what it looked like. So I pulled up there, I got my stuff, I had my gun out again, threw it in there and took off. And that was the first day of my journey.
You left that little dog to die.
That's what some people said. But I might have gave Bigfoot a pet.
They might be tagging along with you.
Yeah, he might have took it in as a pet.
Yeah.
But that was the first day or the first night that they got me into this. And that was one great encounter. I don't hear a lot of people talking about anything close to that. And that was way down on the scale now of what I have happened to me, over the years. It seems like every time I go out to the forest, something happens. Yeah. I'm at the point now where if I don't go out and see one, I feel like it was a bad night, a bad weekend, whatever. I expect to see one when I go out now.
Yeah, we've taken people up to the forest with Greg several times, and we'll have vocalizations, we'll see eye shine, we'll hear knocks, we'll hear footsteps, things like that in the woods. And, for most people, that's pretty epic. And at the end of the night, Greg's like, well, I'm sorry it was kind of quiet tonight. And we're like, that wasn't quiet.
Yeah, I just try to, with some of the stuff that has happened, I just like it big for everybody. Just letting them know, what I say is the truth. Because a lot of this stuff is hard for somebody to believe, but when you're there and see it, it brings up a whole new outlook. And Ernie just brought my attention. Brad Webb said, "How do the force people feel about kids?" Well, that's a great question. Don't believe some of these wise tales about about them stealing children and this and that, and the Native Americans telling you they're stealing their children in the dark. Well, I beg to differ, Brad. I'm a proud grandpa, and we took our granddaughter out at 3 months old, and they were in the forest giving a ceremonial drumming. Everybody that was there at night, we heard the drumming. It's like Native American drumming, like a ritual. And we caught the impression they were welcoming Sarah to the tribe. She was one of us now. She's with us. I don't think these forest people have nothing but the greatest love and admiration for us, for the good humans. They go out of their way to please us, and that's the last thing they would ever do is to harm us or any of our loved ones, even our pets. A lot of people say, well, Bigfoot ripped up my dog or this or that. I don't know. I've had
maybe the dog attacked Bigfoot.
Yeah, maybe the dog attacked him, tried to bite him. He's just defending himself. He's got that right. But I had plenty of dogs out there. All they do is play with the dogs I take out there. They like scaring them. They like making them jump. For the most part, they're having fun. But again, back to your question, I would never second guess that they would hurt my kids or my grandbabies. If that was the case, I wouldn't even go out there. But I talked to my granddaughter tonight, and that's the first thing she always says. Let's go out in the woods, Paw, and find Bigfoot. She knows very well that they're friendly people, and they mean good. You got to face the facts. They're big. They're strong. They're very big and strong. And it might scare people. It might intimidate them. What they take is breathing. Somebody might interpret as growling. And said, Bigfoot growled at me. He came after me. So you got to understand there's two sides to every story. And I'm telling the Bigfoot side. Because a lot of people got the wrong impression of what these people are. And as far as being blood sucking killers, I said this before, I'm looking for humans to kill. It's not them. There is other evil in the forest. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to tell you the forest is completely safe from you, your kids, or anything, because it's not. There's things out in the forest that are mean and evil. I'll get to that here shortly. But I just wanted to make that point. And that's another thing of getting in close with the forest people. If you fear them, if you're afraid of them, if you think they're going to hurt you, if you think they're going to hurt your dog or your children,
probably not going to have an encounter.
Yeah, you're not going to have an encounter because they don't want you to feel like that. And they don't want to mess with people like that. I don't even bring I don't even bring guns out in the forest. I let the people see I'm not afraid of them. I have no reason to be afraid of them. And And if they want to come out and break my neck or to kill me, hey, so be it. At least I died doing what I love doing. And it won't be till after that that I will know the 100% truth anyway. But yeah, I'm glad we cleared that up because, you know, a lot of people are, you know, they're misinformed that the forest people are mean and they're anything but. But back to what I was saying, you know, about talking to him, asking him to do stuff. Does that sound like a mean person? You know, they run me out of there. They throw logs at me. You know, that shows you that they like doing stuff for me. You know, I leave them treats. I leave them donuts. I got a gifting stuff. We always leave stuff on the stuff, and they do stuff for me in return. But this one night, you know, I was telling you about how things get more and more, you know, better and better and better the more you do this. Well, this was Memorial Day weekend, 2020. I was on my way to Washington. I was going to move there, Washington State. And Ernie was with me, Denise was with me, and Denise's daughter, Cora, was with us. And we went out to, yeah, we went out to do a Bigfoot show, and you know, communications, whatever. You know, it wasn't going right. So anyway, you know, we just did our own thing out there. So Ernie, we were talking, and you know, I didn't know Ernie and them for that long. This was
like the second or third
yeah,
time.
second or third time, yeah. So we wasn't really good friends like we are now. And Ernie goes, well, what do you usually do? You know, to get activity and stuff, Greg. You know,
use the tree knocks.
Yeah, call blast, tree knock, yeah, the usual stuff people do. And I said, no. And he goes, well, what do you do? I go, I don't do nothing. I go, I talk to him. And I said, here, look, I'll show you. I'll show you exactly what I do. And I'll raise my hands up. You know, or open my hands up. Well, like showing them there's nothing in it. I have nothing to manipulate you with. No guns, no gadgets. And I hold them up in the air and I speak from the heart. And I ask them, I even beg sometimes. And on this particular night, it was Memorial Day night, 2020. And I said, look, I'm moving to Washington. I may never be back in this forest again. I go, is it possible if y'all could do something really big tonight? You know, I want this place loud. I go, I want you to bring this forest to life. I mean,
show me your power.
Yeah, let's rock this place tonight. Let's see that power. And you know, within 30 seconds, you know, on the other side of the road where we were parked at, we were right there by a little picnic table, you know, a little pull off you see in parks everywhere. You know, just a little pull off surrounded by woods. And then all of a sudden, one tree comes down. I mean, it sounded like a war zone. Another one. Another one.
You can feel the ground.
Another one. I mean, it sounded like a war zone. And when it was all said and done, 8 trees got pushed over. Well, actually 9, because we didn't hear the 9th one, because when they pushed that one over, it come up by the root ball. And so we didn't hear the break. Yeah, they pushed a tree out of the ground with a big root ball there.
Yeah.
Laying.
The tree was probably, what, about that big?
Yeah, I'd say 2.5 foot Indiana red oak. Yeah. And they pushed it over into another tree across the road. So it was laying there, already out of the ground, but it was stuck up in that other tree about 25 feet up in the air. So Denise went down there and she goes, hey guys, here's one of them up here. You know, like Ernie was saying, Denise is always going to where the action is.
Right.
Yeah, she's right into it. And there was that tree. She's like, hey, look. So we all went down there, and yeah, I mean, I could reach up and touch it. It was way up there. And so we walked back and through the van, and me and Ernie's out in front of the van talking. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that tree over there, started shaking. You could hear the raindrops coming out of it. A thunderstorm just went by, but it was headed west, and it was already past. So it wasn't like it was windy or lightning or nothing. I mean, it was just sprinkling out. That was it. And that tree started, going like this, and then just violently shaking. And all of a sudden, another big explosion. So me and Ernie's looking right there. Denise comes out. She was in the van. Cora comes out. They're all looking at this. And we can see a big black mass up in that tree, right there where that other tree was at. So after the big explosion, that black mass jumped down, hit the ground. You could hear a thump, and then he run off into the forest. So me and Ernie went right up there right after this happened. And what he did is knock the other tree that was holding that up. He knocked them both down. So he came back to finish the job. And I already looked down there by the tree, and there was a big footprint right there where he jumped out at. So we where's it standing there? And I told Ernie, I said, I can't believe this is happening. And Ernie said, well, you asked for it. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, I did ask for it.
Yeah.
But did I expect that? Never in a million years. So something like that happened. Probably the most epic experience that you would probably ever hear of.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it is
incredible.
for me, and I was in on it. And it was 50 feet from us.
Yeah.
I walked it off plenty of days, 50 feet from where this happened, right in front of us. And we will never forget that day. So we walk up to the front of the van, and we're all standing there talking, what a great night it's been. I mean, there's more stuff going on than that. And, as the storm's moving west, the back end of the lightning, how it lights everything up. Well, it did that for a second. And I was looking over there, and there was 5 forest people standing there.
Huge.
Shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. 5 of them taking up like a 30-foot spot between 2 trees.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even going to say nothing to Ernie and Denise, because I'm always telling people, I said, hey, I want other people to see this. So I'm standing there, and Denise goes, hey, did y'all just see what I seen? And I go, no, what? She goes, I just seen 5 Bigfoot standing there. So I slapped her high five, and I go, I just seen them too. Excuse me. Yeah, and Ernie said, yeah, I seen them too.
Yeah.
So we not only did the trees get pushed over, we seen the people that did it.
They came back and posed afterwards.
Yeah, they posed.
We did this.
And like I said, they weren't no small people.
No.
I mean, they had shoulders, 4 to 5 feet wide, all standing there, shoulder to shoulder to shoulder.
It was absolutely incredible.
I mean, something.
And had I not been there, I would be sitting here right now going, "This guy is crazier than hell." But I was there, and it happened exactly the way he said it. And like you said, that's not the only thing that happened that night, even. But I mean, we have gone up there with Greg many times. Hell, we were there New Year's Eve this year. We rang into New Year in the forest. And we had, that's something that about the forest in general. There's every kind of energy up there. You've encountered Dogman in that forest.
Yes.
UFO encounters. I mean, you encountered a being, Indiana, that we can't figure out if that's demonic or what the heck.
Skinwalker.
Yeah.
Demonic.
We've had ghost sightings up there.
Fairies, little people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, ghost sightings. Yeah, like Denise. She talks to this lady, the lady in white.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tells Denise she's in that lake down there.
Her body's never been found.
Yeah, her body's never been found. And she comes every time we come up there. Denise either sees her or talks to her. So there's a lot going on. And this forest is full of energy. Be it good or be it bad, you'll find anything you're looking for up there. Another real cool incident you got to hear. Me, my son, and another man, we were driving around Saturday morning, and there's this mountain there. I didn't call it UFO Mountain then, but I do now. And there's a freshly pushed tree over this road. So we all get out, and it's a one-way road. So I'm like, hey, look, just like any detective, you got to look at the evidence and come up with your own conclusions and your own game plan. So I said, look, they pushed us over here. They don't want people coming up here.
Thank you, Beth.
Guess what? We're going to come up here tonight, and we're going to find out why they don't want us up here. So we went up there Saturday night. It was in March. It was dark out. It was rainy out, cold. So I turned my Jeep around. So we're facing that way. We had to leave in a hurry. And I backed it all the way up against that log. So we go up the hill, up on this one-way road. Dark, windy, a March night. It was raining off and on. Miserable night. And we walked about a mile. And we came back and we're standing on top. We're on top of the hill looking down. And I see a bunch of amber yellow lights down there. I mean, a bunch of them. And I turned to my buddy John and I said, hey, look down there. It looks like a village. Because I'm thinking to myself, where'd they come from? We shouldn't be seeing no lights up here. So Eugene sees them. So all of a sudden, I think Eugene said, what are they, Dad? So I seen one kind of look up at me. I said, hey, look, guys, they're Bigfoots. So I took a quick count of them, and you can see 2 on every one of them, clear as a bell. And I counted about 12 of them. I think John said he's seen 8, Eugene 10. I don't know. You got to talk to them, but we all seen them. But I was standing all the way to the left of them. I had the best view because the road kind of bent down. It was a real steep road. And my Jeep was down there, but we didn't know that at the time. And I'm seeing all these things around something. Then all of a sudden, Eugene said, look, Dad, that's your Jeep. And their eye glow was so bright, it was lighting up my cherry red metallic paint on my Jeep. And you can see clearly what color it was. This was 2 o'clock in the morning. There wasn't no reflection up there, no lights, nothing up there, but all these amber lights. All of them are the same color, amber yellow, every one of them. So I remember seeing tall ones, medium-sized ones, little ones. They were all shapes and sizes of them. And even though it was dark out, you really couldn't see the outline of them, but you could see their eyes. And the brighter ones, lit their bodies up a little. So we kept walking, getting closer and closer. And I'd say we got within 50 feet of them. And they're not even running. They're not screaming. They're not growling. Some of them every now and then they'll turn around and look at us. But they wasn't scared. And they wasn't scared of us at all. I knew right then and there from that night forward, they did not mind me being that close to them, me and my buddies, my buddy and my son. So about that time, we see a big bright light coming. And I thought it was another car coming. This is right in the middle of what's going down. And I said, oh man, look, here comes the car. And there's a 90-degree turn right there. And I said, oh, that's probably a bunch of high school kids drinking. I said, they're going to hit my Jeep. So this light doesn't come around the 90. It's going through the woods. And it's like a train locomotive light. Just the purest, brightest, whitest light you would ever see. And it's not putting off shadows like trees are in front of them, like a shadow from a tree. It's going right through everything. It's not putting off a shadow to nothing. It's not moving, no moving parts, no engine noise. It's just drifting through the woods. And it got about even to where all the forest people were. And this is over a 500-foot ravine. I mean, you cannot walk down or walk up. It's very deep and very steep. And he comes cruising right up through there. And he stops a couple of 100 feet away from them. Okay. We're about 25 feet from them now. They start running into the woods. All of them. All of them took off running towards this light. By the time we got down to my Jeep, you could still hear footsteps of them over there where they were making it down the hill. It's a very steep hill. And they all left and they all went down there. And I looked back where I just told you where that 90 was. And there was two very, very big ones down there watching us, 30 feet away from us, watching us. So we're just standing there, man, in awe of what's going on around us. So John even goes, points over, you hear one walking right by, 5 feet from us. The light went off and everything went dead quiet. No more noise from them. All the eye glow went off. It's like somebody hit a switch. So we all got back in my Jeep and we went back to the campsite. And like I said, this was 2-3 o'clock in the morning and all this happened. And that's why I call that UFO Mountain now. Witnesses, not just me. I mean, how many people can say that they witnessed from 8 to 12 forest people with their eyes glowing and throw a UFO in there? How many people can say that?
Yeah.
So as you can see, where I'm going with this, it just gets better and better. And there's usually people around me now. I have camp outs. I take people out all the time. I see my man Rod Max on there. Yeah. I just took him out last Sunday. We had a good time. But here's another. That's why I'm trying to make a connection with the people of the force and the energies that they got. That they're just not. They're not an animal.
Just some dumb animal.
There's a lot more to them. Okay, one day we're sitting in camp, and it's mid-afternoon. Bob Spencer's up there. His daughter Debbie's up there, and she's going to bring some Arby's to us, bring us lunch. So she gets there, and we're all sitting around eating our Arby's. There's only like 5 or 6 of us, and all of a sudden the stinkiest, nastiest odor, that they say
is associated.
Associated with Bigfoot. But I don't smell that much, but I smelled it today. I mean, it was horrible, and it lingered through the camp. And everybody's like, "Oh man, what's that? What's that?" And Bob, he's an 80-year-old man, and he loves Bigfoot, and he loves going out with me. Because he knows what I can do with him.
Experience when he's out.
He wants to experience, and he knows I can give it to him. And his wife's about 82. She's sitting there in her chair. She's just giggling away. And Bob's like, what are you giggling about, woman? She's like, there's a man over here sniffing me on the neck. Yeah, and we all started laughing. A man sniffing you. And then that smell went away. And I go, is he still doing it? She's like, no. Okay. The smell came back. It lasted a couple more seconds. And he sniffed her on the face this time, not the neck, the face. Like maybe he's going to give her a kiss on the cheek. I don't know. But they're really affectionate to women, man, and they love human women. That's a known fact. So this guy really went out of his way to sniff on Bob's wife. So I'm joking to Bob after all this. I'm like, well, how do you feel, Bob? A Bigfoot's up here sniffing on your wife. He goes, well, I'm jealous and he didn't do it to me. See, yeah, I mean, how epic is that? I mean, we all smelled it. She wouldn't make up something, somebody's over sniffing her on it. Yeah, I mean, it's all too good to be true, but yeah, like Denise just said, a lot of this stuff, if you didn't see it, you think it's too good to be true. But that's not the case. It is true and it happens. And that's, I can contribute that with my journey with them and how far I have advanced with them. Like Ernie said earlier, I'm not out there. I'm not going to tree knock. I'm not going to scream. That's what that's what the people do. I don't know what they mean. I don't know what they mean by the tree knock.
It could be a mating call, and you could wind up getting raped.
Or it could be anything, or an emergency call, or like you need help bad, and
threat.
And then they get there, and it's you, and you just never know. But the only thing I really know is to learn more, you got to be out there. The more you're out there, the more you're going to learn. I mean, I see stuff all the time that I've never seen. Doing this for 20 years. Yeah, I know there's probably a lot of ghost hunters out there watching this. A lot of Ernie's buddies and friends. Well, here's an epic story. This was 2 weeks before Christmas. Not this last Christmas, but the one before. 2021. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Get your Coke there.
Yeah, 2021.
Sandy's saying, get Greg a drink. He's got one here.
Yeah, it was 2021. And these two Sheilas, they came up with Ernie. There was like 15 ghost hunters. That's what I do. I love showing people the way. I mean, I don't care who you are, what you are. Hey, you want to have a good time? See, there's Debbie there I was just talking about.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, you want to have a good time? Yeah, come on out. I'll show you a good time. You want action? Yeah, come on out. I got action. You want to see Bigfoot? Hey, come on out. Chances are you're going to see them. A lot of people have. I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of people have. So, I'm like that. I don't care who comes. I just don't want no a-holes up there. I don't want somebody coming up there trying to take pictures behind my back. Trying to get that $1 million shot. I mean, you come up there and you do it the way I want you to do it, which is very simple. No games, no guns, no gadgets. We keep it simple. Big things will happen. Yeah. You want to start sneaking out equipment, your gadgets, you ruin it for everybody. It's happened before. You can ask Ernie.
Yes.
It's happened a few times.
Fellow brought out a FLIR camera one night, and Greg pulled me aside. He said, we're not going to have any activities tonight. I'm like, why? He said, this guy, some bitch over here's shooting a FLIR camera all through the woods.
You're on a FLIR camera.
Well, all right then. So we just kind of hung out at the campfire and enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, when stuff like that happens, he ruins it for everybody. But I mean, there is things you could do. You can sage the area. You can ask for forgiveness. You can tell them this man did not know better, even though I tell everybody, but yet they still want to do it.
Now we have started, like Denise says here in the chat, we have started using some of our ghost hunting equipment, millimeters, REM pods, things like that.
Yeah,
and that was after we had earned their trust.
Yeah, and told them that it wouldn't hurt them.
Told them it wouldn't hurt them. We weren't going to use it to exploit them or anything like that. Just to let them communicate with us.
Yeah, because like I was talking earlier about energy, they're just like ghosts. They got their own energy, and if they're around like a REM pod, it's going to go off. So yeah, we kind of cross trained with Bigfoot and paranormal ghosts. There's a lot of stuff that
overlaps.
That are very similar. Like ghosts and spirits, they got energy. The force people got energy. Do they need energy to do stuff? Yeah, both of them do. Both entities. The more energy they got, the more stuff they can do. I mean, it's very similar, but the only thing really that the force people can turn into a real flesh and blood creatures, or they can be energy. It's up to them.
I mean, yeah. We've spent half the show telling you that we don't believe they're flesh and blood, but they can take that form.
Yeah, they can be that.
And Greg, we are lucky enough to have, I don't know, you probably can't see this too well, but you can't see it at all because of the reflection. What we got here is some hair that we believe might be Sasquatch hair.
Yes.
That Greg got
found by a structure.
Found near a structure. I mean, if you're going to have tracks, which we've found tracks, we've got plenty of photos of tracks and some castings of tracks that we've found. There's a flesh and blood element to them, but that does not mean that they are always in that form. And that is hard for a lot of people to grasp that concept. But if you're into the paranormal, you understand that spirits can communicate. They can be right next to you and you don't see a thing, but you'll pick them up on your recorders where it's obvious they're speaking right into that recorder, right up on it, but you don't see them.
Yeah, or
hear them. And I think it's the same with the forest people. Thermal cameras are things, like I say, I think that any of these gadgets that you're talking about, from trail cams to FLIR cameras to thermal cameras, any of those things, I think there's a possibility you can have some success with them once you've earned their trust. You don't just go out in the woods willy-nilly shooting infrared beams through the woods and expect to get any luck out of it.
Yeah. If you ask them, it's a different. Let them know you're going to do it. It's a big difference.
Greg has caught photos.
I got some good pictures.
I want to show you one if I can figure out how to do this. If you watched earlier, I was trying to show a picture and had a hard time. I'm going to try to show you this one. Let's see. Let me get it up here. It'll come up. All right. Now let me get to the right screen to share it. I got it. Where's it at? There we go. All right. I don't know. Oh, that's not it. Okay. Well, you can see it there. And from that picture, it's hard to tell much because that's very small. Let me get this off screen.
Yeah. That was
and bring up the blow up here because you can actually see it a lot better with the blown up version. Here we go. All right. This is what you like to call Curious George, right?
Yup.
It's kind of hard to make out, maybe, but there's the head. See the eyes here, right?
Yup.
Nostril, the mouth. He's peeking around that tree. And you think this was a young one?
Yeah, he was about 3.5 feet tall.
Um,
He was he was a young one. But what I was saying, though, before I forget, though, you speaking of flesh and blood, well, what I was getting at, the 2 weeks before Christmas, I already had all the people up here. Leanne was with us, Todd, her husband, Beth, she was here. Well, a bunch of y'all aren't here, were here, and the two Sheilas. I got a gifting stump back there. And everybody goes back there all the time and looks, see if they took anything, add stuff to it, whatever. It's a very sacred place back here. And these two Sheilas went back there, and one was a gunnery sergeant that just retired from the Marine Corps, seen combat duty and everything over in Iraq, and they went back there. So, everybody else is up at the fire, which is only like 100 feet away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think very far.
150 feet from there.
But I got a trail going back through the woods to the gifting stump. And so anyway, we hear all this laughing and everything, and they come walking up with another girl, and Haley, yeah. And they go, yeah, you wouldn't believe what happened to us. One come crashing up out of the woods. Sticks breaking, branches breaking, and we took off. And Sheila, the Marine Sheila, she tripped and fell down. And the other Sheila turned around to get her. And she said they're just back there laughing up a storm. And this Bigfoot comes right up on them. And Sheila looks up and, there he is, eyes glowing right there in front of them. She's like, OMG, we're going to die tonight. And she got the other one up, and they made it. They got up to the campfire still laughing. So, we didn't think, what's going on with these girls? So they told us what happened. And then the Haley girl that was standing there, she wasn't back there with them, but she was about halfway back.
Halfway back the trail.
Yeah, she said she seen a big old man with them. That's the first thing she asked him. She's like, well, there's that big old man with y'all. And they're like, there wasn't no man with us. That was Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And that was the first night that these girls were here.
Yeah.
And they just loved it. And that's what they come here for. They said, SQUATCHMAN, we want a Bigfoot experience. Can we get one? Y'all think they got one? I do.
That was pretty epic. And to hear little Sheila tell that story is one of the funniest things
best story you want to
hear.
And again, this happened right there at my camp. And why would they do this? We were all up there laughing, telling jokes.
Good energy.
Good energy. Good, positive, strong energy. And that brought the best out in the forest people. They jump on board to that energy. If you're just a bunch of bump on the logs up there around the fire, not even talking, everybody looking at me like, hey, you gonna make something happen? A lot of times I can. You know how much energy I gotta expunge out of my body for that? If I get self-like people like Ernie, Denise,
Todd Leanne,
yeah, definitely. People like that. Parker Duvall, my friend.
Your son Eugene.
My son Eugene, his wife. A lot of people, man. Rodney.
Bob,
they love Bob, Debbie. Yeah, you put your energy together, and it's like a big beacon of power going out. Yeah, it's like
They're attracted to it.
Yeah, it's like a big electrical
Like a
conduit.
Tesla's ball.
Yeah, a Tesla. Yeah,
Tesla ball.
shooting out energy off of us. And so we manifest all that together, and the sky's the limit. Anything could happen.
Yep.
I mean, just last time we were out, we were seeing streaks of light going through the forest.
Yeah.
Denise
chased that too.
Yeah, it looked like shooting stars.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what that is.
In the woods.
Yeah, in the woods.
Not, and going in a straight line, there is a road that runs through where we were seeing the light. And the first thought was that was just something on that road.
Yeah.
But that road goes up and down and around bends and everything.
Yeah,
well, this light just shot in a straight line.
Yeah, and we're seeing green
and changed light. Yeah, it was like a white light, then it went to like electric blue, then green, then red, and it stopped. Then it went back to green, then to blue, then to electric blue, and then back to white. Went the opposite direction. And I don't know what the heck that was.
Yeah, I don't either.
And like he mentioned earlier, fairies. We were with Greg when he had his first encounter with anything like that. Remember, we were seeing. You were seeing. It looked like someone shining a flashlight back in the woods.
Yeah.
And you were trying to point it out to us, and we were all standing next to this tree. The tree was like right here to Greg, and from out of this tree, this little pink light went zoop, like right up in his face.
Yeah, right out.
He was like, "What the F was that?"
I couldn't tell you.
And Denise said that was a fairy. And I don't know. I assume it was a fairy, but we've just seen all kinds of things up there. And Sandy was asking earlier. She said it sounds like there's a different type of experience every time, and yes, there is. I mean, a lot of the times we'll go out there, we'll see eye shine, we'll maybe hear a knock or something, and it's a similar kind of encounter.
Vocals.
Yeah, but then there are times when it's totally something we didn't expect, and something totally different or new to all of us, and it's.
Yeah, there's also been nights and days where nothing. Yeah, I mean, zilch, nada.
Yeah.
Nothing. But usually the good days outnumber them days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all the people that have been to my forest, which has been in the hundreds, I'd have to say almost every one of them went home happy. They got something to talk about. No matter how little.
Yeah.
Or how long ago.
Now, like I said, you've encountered a little bit of everything, and your Bigfoot life has kind of evolved into
other things.
You've done some ghost hunting with us. We had some epic ghost hunting encounters. But you have encountered Dogman. Like I said, you had that encounter with the thing that identified itself as Indiana that sounds demonic or something. We're going to talk a little bit later about Goatman. But you got probably the best picture I've ever seen. Was this caught in your usual forest?
Yes.
If you guys have heard of Dogman, Greg, this photo I'm going to show you, Greg caught this photo. This is a Dogman photo that he caught in the same forest we're talking about where most of these encounters happened. And I'm going to show you this, and you tell me. There we go. You want to talk about that when you caught that?
Yeah.
How that came about?
Yeah, first of all, let me point out its features. He had yellow glowing eyes, the Nevis Egyptian ears. His nose was even wet looking, like the dog wetness of a nose.
Mm-hmm.
And down here you can see his left arm hanging down there with space in between. See the space, but yet on that side is his arm. So Yeah, I was taking a picture of a tree ball. I didn't even see him. And he's standing back there, right next to that tree,
Watching you.
watching me, wasn't making a sound. And I just overlooked him. That's how easy it is to overlook that. And some people say they're mean, they're deadly, they're gonna eat you. Hey, hell, the way I look at it, man. Yeah, if they're all that, how come he didn't come after me?
Right, because he's close enough.
Yeah, he's close enough. I'm dead right in the sights. Yeah, there's my good buddy Jerry right there. Hey, Jerry. Yeah, see, the forest people definitely trust him. Yeah, I can't preach enough about trust and respect. I mean, in love, it all comes together, man. And if you don't have them traits or characteristics, you're not going to go very far with this. Yeah, a lot of people talk about getting rocks thrown at them. I can tell you right now, people, that's not very good.
It happens to Todd.
Yeah, well, I don't think they were throwing him to Todd himself. I think it was
they got his attention.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, they were winging him in.
We heard that thing coming from way back in the woods. It's like coming through the trees from way back in the woods, and wham, hit the cooler right next to it.
Yeah, back where they pushed all the trees down. That's where Ernie's talking about. That's where we were at. And me and Ernie actually seen one, kind of come out in the open, twist one, throw one
sidearm, but he lobbed it. It went up.
And then went down and bam, slammed into the cooler on the picnic table. I mean, these things are very accurate with their throws.
Yeah.
And I think some people there that didn't like.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Then there was another, I see there are some people from Indiana, Bigfoot researchers on here. And they all know about the camp that I had up there with the group. And we were all sitting around there, and and Ed was sitting right next to Jerry's wife, Tina. I mean, very great people, man. Very high energy, very successful with the Bigfoot people because of their hearts. I mean, just very, very good-hearted people. And this guy was sitting right next to Tina, and all of a sudden he's like, ah! And they're like, what happened? And he said he got hit in the back of the head, man. And he was facing the forest, and he was bleeding and everything. I mean, they threw a rock at hard, man, and hit him in the head, and he was bleeding.
What'd you do, Jerry? What'd you do to cause
that? No, it wasn't Jerry.
Wasn't Jerry?
It was some guy named Ed.
Oh, okay.
He was in that group. And and somebody said that he tried to fake him out one time with one of them. What W say?
That was prior to me and my group of people showing up.
Yeah, y'all came that night. Yeah, but you got there late. Yeah.
Actually, you told me about that happening. I don't know. Was he still there, or had he left?
I think he left, man.
Yeah. He might have to go to the ER.
I don't know, but he's bleeding. He's bleeding pretty good. I mean, I never had a problem. But that's back to that guy's question. How they act around kids. It was just like that. How they act around adults they don't like. Well, that's how they act. Apparently they had a beef with that guy. They had a beef with Ed. He didn't do something they liked. Well, was it here or was it up around Morgan Monroe, up where he lives? I don't know. But I just know this ain't normal characteristics. I mean, how many times have me and Denise had rocks thrown at us when you go out with me? None.
We haven't, but
never.
When Todd goes with us, they get thrown because they don't like Todd.
The Todd. No, they like you, Todd.
They like Todd. They just play with him. But I
mean, yeah. I mean, well, like I said, nobody can tell you exactly how they're going to act or anything.
Right.
Because nobody really knows. I mean, they can act however they want to. He's going to say, "Oh, you can't act like that." So you basically got to take what they give you.
Exactly.
And hopefully that it's all good.
Northwest Paranormal Research Group is asking, do you think aliens have to do with Bigfoot? And I've talked to you about this, and you said, well, I think that they got it right with Star Wars when they had a Bigfoot piloting the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, I think I know the answer for that. I don't think they, per se, are friends with the aliens. They know of each other. Some people say they seen them go on their ships or get let down and light beams off their ships.
You've had your encounter.
Yeah, well, that could be nothing more than alien abduction. They abduct humans, and they could abduct the force people just like us, just to get them up there and probe them too.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, but as far as what I was telling you about Javaka and the spaceships, yeah, I honestly believe that the force people, do have their own fleet of craft. They fly them, and I believe they're not from this planet. I believe they are from another planet. But they've probably been here as long as far as Earth's been here. And just like in Star Wars, they lost their planet planetary warfare. Their planet got destroyed. Well, I believe this very well could happen to their planet, and they had to come here, and they don't want us to know it. I mean, they don't want to intrude here and then be eradicated or wiped out because Earthlings don't like them
or are afraid of them.
Are afraid of them. So that they have chosen to live in the forest and be secluded. I mean, if they wanted to be known, they'd have a parade down Main Street in every town in America. That they would let us know who they are, what they are, and where do they come from. But I don't get mixed up on them arguments. Where are they from? What are they? Who are they? Are they Earth? Are they from Earth? Are they? It really doesn't matter to me anymore. I just know they're godly people. I mean, when God created the universe, a lot of people just think he's talking about Earth. No, I'm sorry. God created everything, all the heavens and the earth and everything around, all the universes, all the galaxies, everything out there. God created. There ain't one God for every different universe. There's one God for everything, and He created a lot of things out there that us Earthlings probably don't know nothing about. And the forest people is probably one of them. I believe I know a lot because I think I'm in tune with them a lot more than a lot of people. I understand them. Why do you think they gave me the name SQUATCHMAN? I'm serious. A lot of people said I was a hybrid. They thought I was half human, half Bigfoot because I knew so much. So much
you're
stuff.
Tall and hairy.
Yeah, I'm tall and hairy. And all this activity happens every time I go out. Even when I bring all my friends, everything happens. I can go to campouts away from where I go camping. I could go to some of Jerry and Leroy's the Indiana Bigfoot campouts. I go to some place I've never been before, and I raise my arms. I talk to the forest. Within minutes, I got immediate action going for 40 people standing there.
Yeah.
For everybody to see.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Without stuff happening before, I was even there. They're like, "Oh, it's dead out here. There ain't nothing going on." And we've been out here 2 hours. And I go, "Well, let's see if I can change that." Within boom, eye shine, wood knocks, vocals, Footsteps.
I'll tell you, it's something that we haven't ever talked about. And it except for the day that it happened. The first day that Denise and I met you, we were doing a live stream for a show, and it was Ghost Hunters Meet Bigfoot, like I talked about earlier. Denise and I had walked all through the woods there around Casey Cemetery, and we had found a couple things that were interesting. We had seen what looked like a predator running through the woods. We couldn't explain that.
Right.
And we'd found a couple of tree bows and things like that. Well, then when you showed up, we took you back to the same location, and there was a hole like down in the ground, like rocks where it was like a natural sinkhole or something, but it was rocks. You remember
I
that?
remember that.
And you climbed down in there. We had looked down in this hole earlier in that day, and this thing was not there. But when you climbed down in there, there was a glyph of rocks. Remember that?
Yeah, on that ledge there.
Yeah, a glyph of rocks
Yeah.
stacked on the ledge right there. And it was like that wasn't there before. It's like they had left it for you
For me.
when they knew you were coming or something.
Exactly.
And, you know, that might sound crazy to some people, but that also happened. And Denise is in the chat. She can verify that too. I mean, that glyph was not there when we had looked in that hole before, but then when Greg climbed down in there, there it was, plain as day. We could see it.
Yeah, something similar to that. I got friends in Titusville, Pennsylvania, TRT, a tire shop, a bunch of good guys there. They came down here to got me. They got a studio there. It's up there in Pennsylvania, Cryptovania. That's the name of the group, and they wanted me to do a show with them, take them out, stuff like that. Well, they got me a motel room up in Titusville, and it was the last room on the right. Up there in Titusville, a little small town, and there's a field outside, an old abandoned wood mill, a train track, a creek, and then up a mountain. So it's pretty cool looking out there the day I got there. So that night, they took me over to the bar. They had a bar over there, and we told stories, had some beer. We got to know each other. Tommy Cooper, Jason Trost, Jay was Tatowski. He's a wildlife photographer. He was there. And this is where he comes into play at. Well, when they take me home at night to the motel, and you know how I always get energized when they're around me?
Yeah.
My hair stands up. I can just feel that energy. And I felt it in my room. So I'm like, no way, it can't be here. I go, I had never been here. I mean, how would they know I'm here? And it even got to the point where I heard a tap on the window. So I got up and looked, and nothing there. So next morning I woke up, man, I felt so good, rejuvenated. And I swung open the blind, the curtains there, and I looked underneath my window. There was a bunch of footprints. And I'm like, footprints? Just under my window. I was looking around. There wasn't none under the other people's window. So I looked at
a track like where they come in?
Yeah, well, I looked out in the field, and I seen 3 trackways, real long strides. And I said, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. So I went out there, and there was 3 of them, 2 of them side by side, and another one off to the left. And they were all about 6 feet, stride. And they come all the way down that hill, over the tracks, through the creek, through that field, all the way up to my window. They didn't go walking here, walking there.
And what's
straight,
a
beeline right to my room.
That's cool.
They knew I were in there. And Jay Watowski, he filmed all this, did a video on it. I mean, we were amazed. We were amazed what happened. Hey, Eugene.
Son of Squatchman, right there.
What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, Eugene.
Yeah, and we were all amazed of what went down. And can you tell me why did they know I was in that room to a town way away from Indiana?
That you've never been to.
Never been to. 30 miles from Lake Erie. Yet I got 3 Bigfoots walking up to my window. Yeah, it's pretty deep stuff.
Yeah.
But again, it happened, and other people seen it. It's just unbelievable the stuff that happens to me, and it never stops. It keeps going and going and going. I mean, that's why I tell people, when you go out with me, expect the unexpected, because I don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Every day brings something different.
Here's a deep question from Northwest Paranormal Research. Said a lot of Egyptian gods, in fact, are half animals and half people.
Yes.
Could that be an experimental thing to create like a more powerful presence? If so, could they splice together, say, an ape with human to create a more powerful workforce? Then somehow abandon the project, and that's what we're getting.
Hey, or maybe that dog man being the Anubis. He could be something on to that. Then again, though, where would where this being from Egypt, how's he find his way over here to North America out into the woods?
Right.
Where this was like an Egyptian god type figure. So I mean,
but if it's a god type figure, why couldn't it be where it wanted to?
Yeah, anywhere. Yeah, just like a spirit. Yeah, I could haunt more things at once than just one.
Right.
Yeah, you got a point there.
It's an interesting concept. I mean, none of us know all the answers. I mean, Greg has an incredible connection, one like no one else on the planet, if you ask me, with the Force people and with other cryptids as well. But he doesn't have all the answers. I certainly don't have all the answers. I'm learning from this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, your theory is a good one.
That's why you gotta keep going out, man, and keep finding one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing I always said. If I could find one piece of the puzzle every time I went out, sooner or later, I'm gonna start filling up that puzzle board up, and I'm gonna start. Look, there's one of my buddies from the Navy. Hey, Philip, thank you, my brother. One of these days, that puzzle board is going to start getting filled up.
Yeah.
And I think mine's getting pretty filled now.
I've got almost all the edges.
but I think I'm on a different path than most people do it. I do it my own way. I'm all about truth and principles. I mean, I don't like arguing with people about what I believe or the truth. When I say something, I say it as the truth. I've been approached by TV shows and wanted me to do TV shows, but bend the truth. Make them into scary shows, and like Bigfoot was after me and blah blah blah. No, I'm not going to do that. They want to.
I wish we could tell the story about that one TV show.
I know. Hey, but if they want to do a Bigfoot show,
that's legit.
That's legit. And nothing but the truth. Hey, they can come see me. Some of the stuff that we have talked about tonight, if they had that on a TV show, it would blow people's minds away. And that's what I like, taking people out there with me. I like blowing minds, man. I like people getting excited. I like people to see stuff that they only dreamed about. It's just incredible what these people do. But you talk about, how they know, they can read your mind. Well, Debbie, she's here watching. Back at the gifting stuff, there was one little flyer. It was purple. It had white leaves, flowers on it, and yellow. Just a beautiful little flower, man. Just one of them. And she's back there, man, and she come back up. She didn't tell me. Oh, I love that flyer. So I went back there later, and that flyer was laying on the stump. And so I'm like, wow, maybe this is for Debbie because she gave him some, she gifted him that day. So I'm like, well, this is probably for Debbie. So I went up there. I said, hey, you got a gift. Yeah, and she knew exactly where it came from. And she goes, oh my. She goes, I just looked at that little flyer this morning, saying how beautiful it was and everything.
But it wasn't on the stump. Then.
No, it was growing right next to it. Yeah. So they picked it and put it there on the stump for her. And that's how they work. You know, they can pick your mind. They know what you're doing before you do.
Yeah.
That's why they know your intentions when you go into the woods. They're like, oh, this guy, he's a hunter. He's going to get a TV show out here to try to kill us. Right. Get away from him, man. Don't show that guy nothing. And then here comes me in the woods. Oh, that's her buddy Greg. Ah.
What's up, Greg?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, don't worry about him.
He's cool.
Yeah, he ain't going to do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there she is right there. I didn't say it aloud either. Yeah, see, it's all in her mind. And they can think. And I seen somebody earlier, I think, not to miss your question, Sandy, but you asked me if they ever mind speak to me.
Yeah.
No, I can be honest with you. They have never mind speak to me, but they have talked to me in English. You know, a lot of people go, what kind of language do they use? Well, I know the answer to that. They can use any language they want. They can manipulate any sound of the forest, any critter in the forest. You know, whatever you have it, a wolf, a coyote, a deer, a buck grunt,
bobcat.
Whatever they want to do, they can do it. Can they turn themselves into them animals? Yeah, a lot of people think they can. A lot of people think that they can do a lot of stuff that you wouldn't believe. So I try not to even get into stuff that deep. Yeah, I mean, talking about Bigfoot is one thing in itself. But when you start talking about, well, he can do this, and he can do this, and he can do this, that's when, box people, I call them, they're like, oh, this guy lost his marbles. He is out there. Yeah, but in reality,
he's outside the box.
Yeah, but in reality, I'm one of the most intelligent men on this planet, and I know this stuff, and these people don't. So the only way they can defend their person per se is to say I'm crazy.
Right.
Well, he don't know what he's talking about. I've been watching TV all my life, and they never said Bigfoot was real. Because they didn't see it on Big. Oh yeah.
What, you didn't watch the $6 Million Man? Come on. Was on there.
Yeah, look at what Eugene said.
Yeah, they like to mock us with what we think they sound like. It's rare to capture their true nature. Exactly. There's so much out there that anything that's not understood, that's not commonly taught in schools or churches or just common
in your school books,
in your common upbringing, then it's not real. We get the same thing in the paranormal world with spirits and anything else.
Yeah, it's not real.
If people don't understand it, if they haven't been taught it or led to believe it from the beginning, then it's not real, and anybody that believes in it is crazy. And I'm sorry, they're the ones who are missing out. They're the ones living in the box, and you got to get outside of that box to experience everything that this world has to offer.
Yeah, and you're not going to know nothing sitting there watching documentaries with all these experts on TV either.
Right.
They're not going to lead you down the right path either.
No, they're gonna be out there banging on trees.
You got to get out there. You got to get out there, man, and experience it yourself.
Yeah.
Or go with people like us, and see what I see. You just don't listen to me on a podcast. Come out in the woods with me and see what I can do. See how I talk to the people and they listen. I mean, how many people can actually even fathom that ideal? Hey, will you do this for me? Hey, yeah, you're the Squatch Man. We'll do it for
Yeah,
you.
we'll push some trees over.
So people just can't understand that somebody could do that it happens. But trust me, it happens, and it happens a lot. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I don't tell people anything that is not the truth. And as much as a lot of this stuff sounds unbelievable, hey, that's the way I like it. That means I'm doing something really good that other people aren't doing because they're not experiencing what I'm experiencing, what my friends are. Like all the people with me that night, the trees got pushed over, or the people like my son that was with me when we seen multiple Bigfoots in a UFO, or the night that Sheila's
got eaten.
Had one rush up on them.
Little Sheila thought she was gonna become a back scratcher.
A back scratcher. I mean, I can sit there all night telling you people about what happens to me out there. I used to do this by myself all the time. I used to walk the woods in total darkness with no flashlight, with nothing. I mean, call me crazy, call me whatever, but I was really into this, and if I was going to find the answers, I was going to do it their way. I was going to do it on their turf, and that is total darkness out in deep woods. No other way. Of course, I got scared a lot. It's frightening out there, but I learned a lot. And I showed the people that I wasn't afraid of them. And I learned through experience that the only thing I had to fear out there was fear itself, because in reality, the forest people were always behind my back, protecting me, watching me, and making sure that some of these other entities never got me, because they were always there with me, one way or another. Just like at night, my son's listening. We went out. We built a teepee. I call it Ground Zero, an area in my hotspot where we have seen many stuff, encountered a lot of stuff. My son asked the forest elder that night we went camping out there and got answered. Oh, yeah, this is out, yeah. So we're camping there. So I wanted to show the forest people we could live there for 3 days and 3 nights, just like them. Very, minimum clothing, minimum food, water. We didn't hardly take anything. Eugene brought his guitar. He's playing his guitar at night. We had a nice fire going. Eugene built a fire pit. We called it a sacred fire pit. Well, anyway, we seen a big green orb fly by into a tree. That same tree did a tree knock from inside the tree. This is all in one night. There was a full moon that night. A lot of these experts say, well, Bigfoots don't come out when there's a full moon. Okay, so anyway, when we go in this teepee, I'm having a hard time sleeping. I got a big root in my back. Eugene said, well, trade these places, Dad. You get over here. So it's about 3 o'clock. The good old bewitching hour. I always tell everybody, seems like it's always 3 o'clock. Something happens. So anyway, Eugene trades places, and I had a spotlight and a knife. That's the only pieces of equipment I had, because I know a spotlight will repel one. They hate white lights. So anyway, I hear what sounded like thunder coming. I'm like, oh man, it's going to thunder. We were going to get soaked in this teepee. I mean, it was a good shelter, but it wasn't waterproof. And it kept getting closer, louder. I said, oh man. So that ain't thunder. I said, there's one walking right up here. So I was looking out the side of the teepee, and it was boom, boom. I mean, you can almost hear the earth shaking, man. It's
Godzilla coming.
Yeah, it was so damn big. So I mean, I was up on my elbows, just shaking in anticipation. And he walked by, and I could see, his big thigh. I mean, just enormous, looked like a tree trunk. And then, like his calf. I mean, my God, what a leg. And that leg went right by me. I'll never forget what that leg looked like. And we had that fire right out in front. So I look up, and there he is, standing right in front of that fire. And there's a full moon shining down. And I could see his black eyes, just like puppy eyes, man, shining in the moon. Big, broad shoulders, look like bowling balls. Just huge muscles, man. It's undescribable. I mean, he had to be 12 feet. He had to probably be 1,200 pounds. He was a true, true beast from the word go. And he just gently looked at me. So I'm like, well, man, is this it? Should I go out, man? This is it. I mean, this is what I want. I want to get chest. Yeah, I want chest to chest with one. I want to shake his hand. I want to walk down the creek with him. This is what I'm looking for. But I couldn't get up. I was frozen. And I was just looking at him, and he's looking right through me. And then he takes one step, kind of, and turns back around real quick and glances right down at me again. So I'm like, I just couldn't do it, man. I couldn't move. So he turned around, took one step over that creek, and you could hear him walking away. So first thing I did is, oh man, my son. And I looked over, and Eugene's sitting straight up like a 90. And he was dazed and confused, man, like right out of sleep. And I'm like, did you see that? And he only said 2 words. He said, no, yeah. That's all he said.
He didn't want to believe what he'd just seen.
Yeah, exactly. So I went out of the teepee, and he was like, Dad, where are you going? Like, I'm going to put more logs on the fire. So he came out right after me. We sat around for about 20 minutes. Didn't say a word to each other. And I shined my light, went down and looked around that creek. And there was a big cat track down there in that creek. Huge cat track.
Wow.
So I said, hey, Eugene, I think we were getting hunted by this cat, man. He was tracking us, and he was moving in for the kill. It could have happened.
The big guy came to.
Yeah, it could have happened any minute. And I think the big guy run him off. Said, hey, you get away, man. You get away. You get away from him. That's my buddy. Or he was just coming by to say hi. I don't know what he did that night, but I know, 4 feet away, probably one of the best views I'll ever get one. And like I said,
anybody that is interested in this at all would just give their right leg.
Yeah, to have an incident like that. And without, we're just sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
And not doing something all over their legs or whatever.
Right.
No, I held it together, man, other than not being able to move. I thought I did good that night, but I wish I would have got out. I think that was my chance.
I believe I'd have pissed my pants.
But it was a very, very frightening but enlightening encounter.
Yeah, I get it. Sandy's asking if you ever hear chatter.
Oh yeah, we hear him talking. Yeah, some people call it the samurai chatter. Yeah, so yeah, you hear that a lot. Then you hear what sounds like English, like a lot of you ghost hunters hear, but you can't understand what the word is. It just sounds real close to English, but you just can't make it out. And I heard that a lot. And so I figure they're out there talking to each other. And again, they don't care if I hear them or not. They know I'm not going to do nothing. And another thing, whenever stuff happens, whenever you see eye shine, tree knocks, trees getting pushed over. You find different structures in the forest. They'll take a minute. They'll talk to them, thank them, going, "Hey, this is a beautiful little thing you built here.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot."
We do that all the time.
I mean, when they push them trees over, I forgot to tell y'all, we gave them a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Me and Ernie, Denise.
Cheering. It was like we were at a ball game.
Yeah, we were at a football game.
Yes.
And thanking them, cheering them on. Yeah, they loved it. We showed them appreciation for what they did for us. They didn't do that for no other reason other than make us happy. That's what they're all about, man, making us happy. And some people might have issues with that, but hey, I'm sorry. That's the way I see things, and I will never change my mind on the way I speak or feel about these beings. I've been around them too many years now. I have never been threatened whatsoever. I have never been growled at. I have never had a rock thrown at me. You see reports and stories all the time on YouTube and the internet. I almost died getting away from Bigfoot.
Stalked by a Bigfoot.
Bigfoot almost killed me. And, hey, trust me, if he wants to kill you, you're not going to be around to talk about it.
Exactly.
You will be in one of David Pilati's books. So you see what I'm saying, people? No, there ain't no almost. It's either he did or he didn't.
Right.
And if he did, you're not going to be around to tell your story.
Right.
I mean, some people have their house get beaten on. They might, come up with the newspaper people the next day. Yeah, Bigfoot attacked my house. Just because he's beating on the side of your house.
Trying to get in.
Yeah.
Trying to get your attention.
Yeah, he's trying to get your attention. Let them know he's out here. Yeah, he's not trying to bust your house down or get you. Right. That's what they do. They like you. If they didn't like you, they wouldn't mess around with you.
They wouldn't come around you.
I mean, it's two sides of the highway. If they don't like you, don't worry. They won't be around.
Right.
If you're an a-hole, hey, don't worry about it. You're the last person they're going to mess with.
They ain't got time for that.
But if you're a good-hearted people, like most of me and my friends are, you're going to have good stuff. And like Eugene says, your heart tells the tale. And people just can't come out there and go, "Oh, I got to get hard." Be a serial killer. The Bigfoot's
you can't fool them.
Yeah, you can't fool them, no. And you can't get a good heart anywhere. You can't go to Walmart or Kroger's and buy a good heart. That's what God gave you. That's the only one you're going to get. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. You're either going to be a good person or you're not. I mean, I'm sure people can change. I'm sure that they change every day. But in order to have a successful, relationship, you got to be a good person. Yep. That's the common denominator. A good heart.
Well, we have been on for 2 hours and 10 minutes now. I didn't plan to go this long.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, man.
Yeah, we might need to do a part 2. You think you'd be willing to come back and join us again?
Oh, I don't care.
Well, heck, maybe we can do it, I don't know, maybe next week, or we don't have a guest lined up for next week. You want to come back next week?
Let's do it.
All right,
folks. Hey, how many people think me and Ernie could replace Bob and Tom?
Yeah.
Let's have a survey.
Come on. Is this a good show or not?
Yeah, you think we can go on at 4:00 in the morning and talk for 4 hours?
That's awful damn early.
Then we can both do fake laughs. Hey, Tom.
This guy, oh man. Listen to him.
Good one.
No, I love you, brother. It's always great having you on. It's always great having you around.
Hey, we know how you do previews for the next show. Well, here's our
teaser.
Yeah,
Teaser.
here's her teaser. There you go. Show that off, dude.
That is a casting of the Popelick Monster, Goatman, from here in Louisville, Kentucky, that Greg got.
And we will be going over this in depth our next show.
Yep.
Which will be when?
Next Sunday night, 9 o'clock. How's that? Let's just do it next week, unless you got something coming up.
Let's do it, man.
If Denise tells me that it's okay with me, with her, then we'll do this again next week, and we'll have Denise in here. So there. But
hey, thanks, Terry.
I like it.
Yeah, way better than Bob and Tom.
Philip says we got this.
Well,
guys.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody who tuned in.
Be sure to share this out to everybody. They can watch the replay if they didn't catch it live.
And we'll do another 2 hours next week. And I got a lot more I got to cover. So it seems like every show, you start getting into it, and then before you know it, it's time to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, we spent a lot of time and only scratched the surface, even of the encounters that we've had together. And this guy's had.
Look, this guy here wants us to do a 12-hour marathon.
Brad, we're going to do that. It's going to be a pay-per-view, though. And speaking of that kind of thing, though, before I wrap up, I do want to mention this. We have been talking to Greg. I know a lot of folks here in the chat were talking about how they'd like to come out and go in the forest with him. He's always done this on his own. He goes out, buys his firewood, spends his gas money, it takes his time to go. And we have talked about maybe putting together some campouts where people buy a ticket. We're not going to overcharge people like some people do, but we're talking about figuring out the logistics of how to do this. And if you guys would be interested in that, we're going to try to set that up.
Yeah.
And we're also trying to put together, if you look up there in the corner of the screen where that little Team Squatchman logo is, they can't see where you're pointing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Let's see. Hang on. There. That logo, we're putting that on some t-shirts also to try to help this man refund some of his costs for what he's done and how much he's meant to the field.
Yeah, Debbie said you're paying us.
We're not paying
Debbie.
Debbie.
What? You got to be paying us.
No, Debbie. No. Greg, you know Greg better than that. But anyway.
Hey, it's been a great night, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in.
Yeah, we hope to see you next week.
And
you guys.
We have a good time doing this, and I hope y'all had a good time listening.
Yeah, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, same bad place, same bad time.
Same bad channel.
You got it, man.
All those things. You're so funny. Oh, my gosh. Anyway.
See you, Mom.
You all take care.